Hi and welcome everyone to another video on my channel. My name is Denis and in today's video we're gonna discuss about everything you need to know ahead of Blank Game Week 34 of Fantasy Premier League. And as usual, if you enjoy this type of content, please consider leaving a like, hit that subscribe button. But now let's get into it. Okay, so before diving into the research section of my video where we're gonna see which are the best players to buy for Game Week 34 and beyond, I just wanted to take a look shortly at the fixtures for Game Week 34. Now, as you may know, Game Week 34 is gonna be a blank, so 4 teams are not gonna have a fixture, and those teams are Arsenal, Aston Villa, Manchester City, and Crystal Palace. And since a lot of us doubled up, took a lot of players from these teams, it's gonna be really tough to navigate through Blank Gaming 34 if you don't, if you're not using your free. Now, this video is gonna be useful for everyone, so it doesn't really matter if you're using your free in Gaming 34 or not. But let's just take a look at the fixtures. So we know the teams who are gonna blank. Now, also on the screen, you see the actual fixtures who are gonna be in Game Week 34. I highlighted 4 fixtures. Now, it doesn't mean that you 100% need to target those teams. But what I wanted to say here is that obviously everyone is want to target those 3 teams who are relegated already. So that's Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton. Now, obviously, those teams don't have anything left to play. So obviously, they are really good teams to target for FPL because they are in that position, but at the moment they don't really have anything left to play. Obviously, they are not gonna just lose every game. They are still gonna try to play because it matters, even if they are relegated. Now, what that means is that on Gaming 34, if you're using your free, or maybe if you're not using your free, still we need to target Newcastle, Fulham, Wolverhampton. As you can see now, my 4th fixture highlighted is Liverpool, Tottenham. So these teams, this fixture have a lot of implications because in Liverpool's case, they could win the title in that game. In case that Arsenal don't lose against Crystal Palace today, because if that's gonna happen, that's gonna be over now. But with this fixture, Liverpool have a lot to play, so they could win the title. Now, obviously, what I really like also is that Spurs is a nice fixture in general. Now, more so now because, as you may know, Manchester United and Spurs, these 2 teams are gonna also rotate a little bit, in my opinion, I think, in the Premier League, because as the relegated teams, these 2 teams don't have anything left to play. They have to play in Europa League, so they are in the semi-finals. So that's why probably they are gonna rotate a little bit, and that's why I like the fixtures for Bournemouth and Liverpool in particular. Now, obviously, you have other fixtures. Chelsea, Everton is a nice fixture to target. Brighton, West Ham, and Nottingham Forest, Brentford. But yeah, these are the fixtures. Let's see which are the best players to buy for Gaming 34 and beyond. Now let's jump to the next part. Here we're gonna see which are the best players to buy, and I tried to section this part in 3 parts. Best players to buy: forwards, midfielders, and defensive assets, because I just thought that we have a lot of forwards to look to for Gaming 34 in particular, but also beyond. So what I done here, I tried to gather some data, obviously with some data, the expected goals and expected assists for the forwards in the last 10 game weeks. Here you're gonna see the predicted points for gaming 34 and 38, because what I tried to do here is I just tried to pick some players who are good for gaming 34, so it doesn't matter if you free it or not. These players are pretty decent for gaming 34, but also I tried to add those players and to add those predicted points to see how they are gonna do until the end of the season, because not everybody has their fleet available. So in some cases you will need to buy some players and decide um which are the best players for all the game mix, not just for gaming 34, obviously. And also you're gonna see the fixture difficulty rating attacking wise for these teams. Now let's start with the first names. Obviously, Isak, nothing really to say about him. He's a great forward. A lot of people have him. Yeah, he wasn't amazing in the last game mix, but obviously on a free. If you're not freeting, that's a little bit more tricky, but I still think that Isak is a good buy, even if you're not freeting in Gaming 34, because the fixture is just great against Ipswich at home. Now the data is great. The fixtures are getting a little bit trickier for Newcastle in the end of the season, so that's why I asked the question if you need to buy him. Now let's go to the other one. So these forwards pretty much are good for the free. Now, obviously, some are better till the end of the season. Some are better for gaming 34 and 35 in particular. Let's talk a little bit about Wolverhampton. So here we have Cunha and Strand Larsen. Uh, as you may know, the statistics are great for this. Now, obviously, Cunha didn't play in the last game weeks when he was banned. Now he is back in the team. He played again against Manchester United, but it really depends what's gonna happen in the press conference because um if Bellegarde is fit and he's looking like he's gonna start in the next game week, there could be some doubt about Cunha starting because he was back from the ban and Cunha didn't start in the first games. So we need to see if he's still a starter. Now, obviously, he's the best player from Wolverhampton, but we need to see what they are gonna do with him. I think that he's the best option if he's gonna start. So I'm just gonna say that he's on penalties, he's on set pieces. He's really good for bonus points, so everybody knows that when he's getting an assist or a goal, he pretty much gets all the three bonus points. And the fixtures for Wolverhampton are pretty decent, starting with Leicester in gaming 34. Now, Strand Larsen is an interesting one. If you're not using your free, if you don't have enough budget to go for someone like Une, I just think that he's a really nice option. In particular for this gaming 34 against Leicester, his statistics are amazing. In the last game weeks, he scored a lot of goals, and yeah, the fixtures are decent for Wolverhampton till the end of the season. Now, another interesting one is Evan Nilsson. Maybe you're not targeting him on a free, and the fixtures for Bournemouth are not amazing till the end of the season. They are gonna play some tough oppositions, but as you can see, his expected data is amazing, 0.78. He's a really cheap forward. He could be on penalties. If Clivert is not on the pitch, maybe. So yeah, I think that he's a decent pick. Maybe not on a free, but overall he's a really decent forward with really decent data. Now, Wood Wissa. Wood is never a bad option. He was amazing this season. Now, I wasn't Chris Wood's biggest fan this season, to be honest with you, but they are gonna play at home against Brentford, a team who is not really known for how good they are defending at the moment. But yeah, Wood is back. He was injured a little bit. He missed some games, obviously. As you see here, he has also some expected assists. So he has some creativity, maybe surprising a little bit for me. And yeah, the fixtures for Nottingham Forest are decent pretty much till the end of the season. Now, a forward I really like if you're not using your free, if you just want to buy him till the end of the season, is Wissa from Brentford. I just think that he's great. He was in my team in this season. His statistics are amazing for the season. He scored 15 goals or something like that. Now, what I like about the Brentford boys is that when you see Brentford scoring, you just know that Wissa or Mbeumo are gonna be involved. So they are pretty much sharing all the goals, and in a lot of cases, Wissa is assisting and Mbeumo scoring, and vice versa. So this is how things happened this season. Now, I really think that Wissa is a great option, not in particular for Gaming 34 because they are going to play against Nottingham Forest away, which is not the best fixture. Now, um, it's not a bad fixture because we saw Spurs creating a lot of chances against Nottingham Forest, so they are not defending really at the moment like they used to in the start of the season. But yeah, I wouldn't really target Nottingham Forest at the moment. I just think that Wissa in particular, till the end of the season, is one of the best forwards you can get at that price. Now with Jimenez, it really depends. So from this point down the list, it really depends because Rodrigo Muniz missed the last game for Fulham. Now we don't know the extent of the injury, so we need to wait to see the press conferences to see um, if Muniz is gonna be out, basically. Because if that's gonna happen, then Raul Jimenez has all the chances to start against Southampton, and that's a really good fixture. He could be on penalties, yeah, I think that in that case, Jimenez could be a nice punt, maybe more for some those people who are freighting, because the fixtures for Fulham are not amazing till the end of the season. But this game week, the fixture is great. Jimenez is a striker. His statistics are not something amazing or something like that, but he's that kind that type of player who can score and assist from nowhere. So that's how he is. Now, the next one is a really nice punt. Also, maybe just for those people who are fitting Welbeck, the fixture against West Ham at home in game week 34. Again, really dependent on what happened in game week 33. So Joao Pedro is suspended for this game week. So Welbeck is gonna be probably on penalties. He's gonna play as a number 9. I really like him as a punt. The fixtures are okay for Brighton, but not amazing till the end of the season. His statistics are not great. But I think that especially for this game week and for maybe the 2-3 next game week, Welbeck is a great pick. Now, Full Krug, honestly, I wouldn't go there. Now, obviously, I tried to um, complete the list. He played in the last game week, so he's starting now. You're not gonna be 100% sure he's gonna start. In the last game weeks, Bone started as a number 9. Now Fulkrug started as a number 9 in game week 33. His price is not really cheap, 6.7. You have a lot of better players, I think, at that price. His statistics are not amazing. Now maybe there's gonna be that chance that he's gonna be on penalties, but honestly, I wouldn't just buy him for that. The fixtures for West Ham are decent. But yeah, this was my section with the forwards. There are a lot of options. Please let me know if you're buying a forward, and if that's the case, which one. But now let's see the midfielders. Okay, so just like we did with the forwards, let's jump into some of the best midfielders to target for gaming 34 and beyond. Now, let's start with the first one. I think that he is a man in demand, Brian Mbemo. Now, obviously, not just because he scored 2 goals and 1 assist in game week 33. He was a really reliable player for me also this season. He is on penalties, he is on set pieces, he's playing 90 minutes every gaming. That's what I really like about Brian Mbemo. Now, his statistics, as you can see, are not something amazing, but for that price, I think that's okay. Now, obviously, maybe he outperformed a little bit his statistics for the season, because as you can see, his expected goals are not amazing, but he scored a lot of goals this season. He scored a lot of penalties also. But yeah, that's why we have these players who are on penalties, set pieces, because you have a lot of routes to get those points from this player. So not too much I want to talk about Mbeumo, because he is a really good player. Maybe on free you could avoid him, although I think that it's a great pick also against Nottingham Forest away. Not the best fixture, but we just saw how many expected goals Nottingham Forest conceded against Spurs. So yeah, Spurs are not the best side in the Premier League at the moment. So they are not defending at the moment like they used to before. I think that Mbeumo is a good pick. Maybe not this week, but till the end of the season, I think that he's gonna be bought by a lot of FPL managers, including myself here. Now, yeah, as you can see, his predicted points from gaming 34 till gaming 38 are pretty decent. The fixtures are okay from Brentford till the end of the season. If we go to the other players, Here I included Barnes and Murphy from Newcastle. Now, obviously, here you can include also someone like Anthony Gordon. I just didn't want to uh, complete the list with all the players from Newcastle. The thing with the Newcastle players is obviously if you're on a free, you need to see if you want to take the risk with them, because now that Gordon is fit, there is a risk that one of them is gonna be benched. Now the next fixture is against Ipswich at home. The fixtures for Newcastle are not amazing in the end of the season. They have some tough oppositions to play, but in particular for gaming 34, they are obviously great if you can nail which is gonna be the two players who are gonna start. Barnes at the moment, he's the man in form. As you can see, his statistics are great. Murphy was the reliable option, and I'm a little bit surprised when I gathered this data to see that his expected goals are not. The statistic is not bad, 0.38. As you can see, he has more expected goals than a lot of players on this list, like Luis Diaz, someone to just to give a name. So his statistics were great for Murphy. I just think that obviously if you have him, you're gonna keep him for gaming 34 against Ipswich. But if I was to buy him, probably I wouldn't do that. I just think that the boat has been missed with Murphy. Now, yeah, it really depends what we're gonna find out in the press conference about Gordon, about Barnes, because let's see, we get some positive update on Gordon. The coach is just gonna say that they want to for Gordon to start on the left. Then we can have a better image of which players are gonna start, because now we don't know exactly. I think that Barnes is gonna start honestly because he was playing great in the last game mix, but we don't know for sure. They could line up with Gordon on the left, Murphy on the right, Barnes on the left, Gordon on the right. So anybody of these three players could be benched, and yeah, it's not nice to buy a player against Ipswich at home for them just to be benched. No, yeah, I think that at the moment Barnes is the pick from Newcastle, but all three of them could be great options depending on the minutes. Now, if we go to Liverpool, Luis Diaz, I think that he's a nice option in particular for those who are free hitting in gaming 34, because as I said before in my last videos and also in this video, Liverpool could win the title at Anfield against Spurs. They are playing at home. I think that they are going to play the strongest lineup, and I just think that Luis Diaz is part of that at the moment. Now, obviously, he could be rotated. They could play with Gakpo and Jota, and Diaz to be on the bench, but I just think that at the moment he's the first choice. But with Luis Diaz, with Liverpool players in general, you need to take into consideration what's gonna happen after they are gonna win the league, because yeah, obviously they are gonna party and all the good stuff, and in the next game they are gonna play really bad. But there could be some rotation in the last game mix if the title is won, obviously. So I would be a little bit cautious in investing in Liverpool players. Now on free, obviously you can do that because you're gonna get back your team in gaming 35, but long term, I'm just not sure about that. Now, obviously, if you want to take a punt, now is the time to do it against Spurs when Liverpool still have a lot to play for. And yeah, Spurs, we're gonna rotate. They weren't great defensively. I just think that the fixture is great. So if you want to target those players, Luis Diaz, Jota could be a nice option if you think that he's gonna start. Next up, we have other players, maybe more reliable for the future. So Clivert, as you may know, he's back from injury. He's on penalties. He's a really cheap midfielder, 6 millions. The fixtures are not amazing for Bournemouth till the end of the season. They are gonna play against Man United, who again are gonna rotate a lot. Like just like Amorim said, they are gonna play some kids. They are gonna rest. They are gonna focus full on the Europa League semi-final, because they could get UEFA Champions League spot by winning the Europa League. So that's their focus at the moment. Now, Bournemouth really also they don't really have a lot of things to play this season. but Clivert is a safe option if you want and reliable one till the end of the season. Bowen, another one with good statistics. Now I think that the boat with Bowen was missed maybe against Southampton. Now the fixtures are decent till the end of the season. Maybe there is also chance that he's gonna be on penalties. Uh, I just think that he's a little bit expensive. I just think that we have a lot of midfielders at the moment. Beumo, Barnes, Clivert. We have players obviously like Salah, Palmer, if you want, who are not on the list at the moment. But I'm assuming everybody has Salah, so that's he's not on the list now. Yeah, if we move to the other ones, Iwobi is a player I saw a lot of talking this week. Now, mostly I think that for those people who are fleeting or you don't have a lot of cash to buy other players, because yeah, he's a really expensive midfielder. He's playing against Southampton away, but as you can see from the screen, his statistics are not something to be afraid of. So pretty much his expected goals involvement is non-existent. Now obviously he's scoring from positions when where you're not gonna get a lot of expected goals, so that's why he's so low. Maybe he scored some goals this season. He really didn't start all the game weeks recently, so he's not a 90-minute man at the moment like he used to be in the start of the season. So I understand if you want to go for a Fulham midfielder against Southampton, maybe Iwobi is the one. I don't know. That's just my opinion, guys. So I would try to avoid. I just think that there are better options to target. Now, obviously, that's also because the fixtures are not great for Fulham in the last game mix of the season after this fixture against Southampton away. So yeah, a little bit mixed. And also my last pick on this list is someone like Gibbs White. And yeah, there are also other midfielders you should target. So this list is not complete with all the good players to target. And obviously, for my team, for example, I would rather target someone like Elanga from Nottingham Forest because I just like those type of players, more explosive, with more chances to score, with better underlying statistics. Now, yeah, as you can see, Gibbs White statistics is pretty much the same as for Iwobi, so it's not great. He's a midfielder. He's not an explosive midfielder, but what I like about him is that he's on set pieces and he's on penalties. So if you want a reliable player who's gonna play pretty much 90 minutes almost every game week for Nottingham Forest, who has a lot of routes to points, I think that Gibbs White could be a decent option. Now let's move to see the best defenders to target. Okay, so the last section of best players to buy, talking about defenders. Let's address firstly the elephant in the room, which is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, there's a lot of talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold, even in FPL, even in football in general. Now, we're talking about FPL here. So he scored a goal in the last game week against Leicester for Liverpool. He's back fit. We need to see obviously what Arne Slot is gonna say in his press conference because we don't know at the moment if he's fit enough to play 60 minutes at least, so we could get that clean sheet. But everybody knows how good Trent Alexander is as an FPL asset, so I don't really need to talk too much about that. Liverpool are a really good defense, as you can see from the expected goals conceded in the last 10, 0.82. With Trent, we know that he has assist potential and goals potential. Now, obviously, a lot of people are afraid that maybe they are just not gonna play Trent Alexander-Arnold because maybe he's gonna move to Real Madrid or something like that. But as I said before in my last videos, I just thought that when Trent Alexander-Arnold is fit, I just think that he's gonna play for Liverpool. So he's the best right back from Liverpool. There's no debate about that. And again, if you have someone like Bradley, you don't need to sell him at the moment because you need to assess. But if you want to buy someone like Bradley, I wouldn't do it just because the risk is too big with Trent Alexander back in. So he could be a great option on the free at that price, 7.2 millions, Trent Alexander-Arnold. But I don't know, for those people who want to buy him till the end of the season, I just think that the fixtures are really not great defensive wise, as you can see for Liverpool. So maybe he's an avoid at the moment. Now, if we look to the next players, Enury, the most attacking defender from Wolverhampton, I think that he's great. He's gonna be in my free. The price is okay, 4.9 millions. His statistics, his expected goal involvement is really good, 0.28. Uh, Really, I don't have anything left to discuss about Ainery. He's playing pretty much every game for Wolverhampton, so they are not really defending amazingly at the moment, but as you can see from these graphics, Wolverhampton are defending better as a team than Newcastle. Now, obviously, that's maybe because Newcastle conceded a lot of goals against Aston Villa last game week, but still, these statistics are for the last 10 game weeks. So, as you can see here, Liverpool is the best defense on this list, followed by Manchester City, Everton, Chelsea with really good underlying stats. Now, please ignore Guardiola from that list because obviously he doesn't have a fixture for Gaming 34, so don't buy him. But for until the end of the season, I just think that Guardiola is obviously the best pick from Manchester City. The fixtures are decent; they are fighting for top four. Now, hopefully, he's gonna play as a left back again soon because as a center back, he doesn't really have a lot of attacking threat. But yeah, don't buy Guardiola for this game week. Wait till game week 35 at least. Next on the list is Trippier. Now from Newcastle, you have also other defenders to target if you want. Obviously, if you don't have enough funds to do that, I think that on a free Trippier is the best pick to go. But if you don't have your free, for example, I would just go for someone like Livramento. I think that he's a little bit better for the money you pay for him. Now the fixture against Ipswich at home is great, but as I said before, the data for Newcastle, the expected conceded goals is not great, 1.47. So they are not really a tough defense at the moment. But yeah, a cheap defender like Burn or Livramento could be okay till the end of the season because you don't need to play him every game week. Another interesting option is Cucurella from Chelsea. Now, he scored a lot of goals recently, but as you can see, his expected data is not so big, so maybe a little bit lucky. Now, Chelsea are defending really good, but the data for Chelsea was good pretty much all season. Defensive wise, they just couldn't keep a lot of clean sheets, so they are defending good as a team. Everton is a great fixture against at home, sorry. So yeah, in particular, also Chelsea are fighting for top four. So we should try to target those teams who are fighting for something. At the moment, Cucurella could be a great option, but I think that he's more, I don't know, not just on the free, but I just think that there are a lot of options at the moment. You have Liverpool defenders, Arsenal defenders, obviously, in your team, which are decent. So yeah, if you can find a spot for Cucurella, he's a little bit expensive at that price, to be honest with you, 5.4. Now, next we have two defenders from Fulham, Robinson and Sessegnon. Now, Sessegnon is a big risk because uh, he's playing as a right winger at the moment, which is great. We love that in FPL. As you can see, his ex goal involvements in the last 10 game weeks is 0.58, so he's really the number one on this list if we're talking about attacking threat. But you have that risk. You don't know if he's gonna start all the games. Harry Wilson is back. He could get back into that team, and Sessegnon is not gonna play probably as a left back or a right back because Robinson is the first choice there. So if you wanna go safe, if you wanna go for a punt, I think that on free you could go for someone like Sessegnon. But if you don't have your free, I just wouldn't go there because You don't know if he's gonna play, and the fixtures for Fulham are not great defensive wise till the end of the season. So the safe option is Robinson. His expected data go his statistics gone down a little bit from the beginning of the season when he was assisting a lot, but still Robinson is the first choice. He's the safe option. He's more expensive, but obviously you get what you pay for, and we know that he could get those assists. And Fulham are a decent defense. Next up, we have Pickford from Everton. Now the fixtures for Everton are really good, basically from next gaming, so from gaming 35 when they're gonna play Ipswich, I think. Here you can include someone like Mikolenko, Tarkovsky if he's gonna be fit. A lot of players from Everton are gonna be in those players who are gonna wildcard in Game Week 35. So as you see from the statistics, Everton are defending really well at the moment. Pickford, I think that obviously it's not so entertaining to make goalkeeper transfers, so that's why I didn't include so many goalkeepers on this list. But yeah, if you're creating Gaming 34, obviously I don't think that Pickford is a great option. But for the future, I think that he could be a good one because the fixtures are just great for Everton. And my last defender, Milenkovic from Nottingham Forest. Here again, you can include um, Matt Sells, the goalkeeper. You can include Murillo, maybe Nico Williams. I just think that Mikolenko has a little bit more attacking threat, although in the last 10 game weeks that was not the case. And as you can see from this graphic, Nottingham Forest are the worst defense from these teams. So yeah, they were one of the best defenses in the Premier League this season, but in the last game weeks they conceded a lot of chances. So maybe we need to rethink a little bit if we want to target Nottingham Forest till the end of the season. But the fixtures are decent, so I just think that if you have one defender from Nottingham Forest, that couldn't hurt you a lot. But yeah, these were my defenders for Gaming 34 and beyond. Now let's see which are the best captaincy options for Gaming 34. Next up, we're gonna have a little talk about who's the best captain for Gaming 34. Now I think that for me, for example, it's pretty much straightforward. So I'm just gonna say it at the beginning. I'm just gonna captain Mohamed Salah probably if anything is gonna happen with him. But a lot of people are chasing. Maybe they don't want to play safe. Maybe they want to captain a differential. So I just think that we should discuss a little bit to see which are the best options for gaming 34. Now the first one is Mohamed Salah. I'm not gonna talk too much about him because as you can see, his expected goals are the best on this list. He has also some assist threat. He is predicted to score the most points from these players for Gaming 34, and Liverpool are predicted to score 2.7 goals against Tottenham at home. So that's a great fixture. They're playing at home, they could win the title, all the good stuff. I think that Salah is a great captaincy option despite him being really frustrating in the recent weeks. I know that he was um, really bad, let's be honest, in the last game weeks, but at some point he's gonna turn it up, and I just think that the fixture is great. So I'm just not gonna risk captaining other player. Now, if we're talking about fixtures, probably Isak has the better one against Ipswich at home, and he would be my captain. But the thing is, he's not getting 90 minutes. He's being subbed off. He's not in the best form of his life at the moment, so that's what's maybe putting me off a little bit of captaining Alexander Isak. But he's still on penalties. He's still a great forward. He's gonna start, probably get at least 70 minutes against Ipswich. And yeah, I just think that he's a great captaincy option. Also, he's my second choice here. Yeah, but now let's see the more spicier ones if you want. If you're really brave, yeah, I included Cole Palmer on this list. You don't need to captain Palmer. Let me just say it like that. If you don't want to, if you think that he's a bad option, if you think that he's in bad form and he's not gonna score for the rest of the year, that's totally fine. I just think that if you really want to go different, if you don't want to captain Mohamed Salah or Alexander Isak, for example, then in my opinion, Palmer is the next best option, which sounds a little bit weird maybe because he was really frustrating in the last game weeks. But he's gonna play against Everton at home, so as you can see from the screen, I highlighted the fixture. It's not a great fixture like Spurs, Ipswich, or Leicester. Uh, so the fixture is not great. Everton are defending well at the moment, but it's at home. Um, Palmer is on penalties, on set pieces, and in one game in particular, I think that he could be a great captaincy option, and also he could be also a big differential at the moment because not so many people own him, and not everyone is gonna include him in their feed, and a lot of people are also selling him. But his expected data is decent, as you can see from the list. Is pretty much the next best to Mohamed Salah. Now the last two players are Cunha and Wood, which are great. Now Cunha, obviously, if he's gonna start, we need to see if Bellegarde is gonna be fit. If we're gonna have some risks about Cunha starting, I just think that everybody should just avoid him. But we're talking about if he's gonna start this game against Leicester at home. I think that he could be a great option on penalties, on set pieces, really good for bonus points. Uh, yeah, Leicester are really bad at the moment. They're relegated. Cunha is a nice option if you want to go super different. And Wood, to be honest with you, I just tried to add 5 captaincy options for this game week. I wouldn't captain Wood, obviously, in my team, but um, he's not a bad option. Again, he was captain in other game weeks this season. He was a good FPL asset. He has expected goals. He's on penalties. He's playing pretty much closer to 90 minutes when he's fit. And the fixture is not something like Leicester at home, but it's Brentford at home, which are conceding chances. And yeah, the fixture is pretty much okay. Nottingham Forest are not defending well, but in attack they could score some goals. But this is my list. This is my order for the captaincy. This is just my opinion. Now let's see some hot topics for Gaming 34. Okay, so in the last part of the video, I just tried to put up some questions which could be useful maybe for some of you. So I just thought about everyone playing this game. um, for example, let's start with the first one. So if you don't have your fleet available, should I take hits to have 11 players in Gaming 34? Now the short answer is no, you don't need to have 11 players for Gaming 34, but obviously that's great if you can get to that. Now here it really depends how many free transfers you have, which chips you have. If you're wildcarding in Gaming 35, for example, maybe it's not worth it to take a lot of hits just to have 11 players to just sell them in gaming 35. So you get my point. But if we're talking about how many players are enough for blank gaming 34, if you don't have your free hit in particular, obviously you need to pick those core players. So if you have players like Mohamed Salah, for example, Alexander Isak, a Newcastle defender, maybe Strand Larsen, maybe a goalkeeper like Leno, Palmer, players like that, uh, which are the best for gaming 34, then you don't need to have 11 double gaming players. But obviously, as many you can get, that's the better. And if we're talking about taking hits, it really depends on your chip strategy. So if you don't, let's say you don't have any chips available to play, in that case I think that it's worth it to take hits because for example, you have 7 players who are gonna play in gaming 34, so you want to add to at least 9 or 10. Let's say you want to take a -4, a -8, or even maybe a -12, if that's gonna allow you to buy some players like for example Mbeumo, Wisa, which are players who are gonna be amazing till the end of the season, then I think that the hits are worth it. The next question, time to sell the Crystal Palace boys. Short answer again, no. There are some chances Crystal Palace are gonna have another double gimmick in the upcoming game weeks. Now, don't have high hopes because that's not a guarantee, and we don't know uh, exactly what's gonna happen. But I think that at some point I would sell someone like Mateta. To be honest with you, players like Sar and Munoz and Eze, I think that they are really reliable because they are really cheap. Let's see what they are gonna do against Arsenal away. But I think that again, you could sell some players from Crystal Palace. To be honest, you don't need to have three. Obviously, they are gonna blank in Game Week 34. But a player like Sar or Eze, I just think that they are great value for that price. And the last question: should we target those teams fighting for something and avoid the others? Now here I'm talking more about teams like Chelsea, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Manchester City, who are fighting for those top spots 4, 3, and 5 for the UEFA Champions League qualification. So obviously, I think that we should target those teams, um, but avoid the others. I'm not so sure about that because we have a lot of players from Arsenal and Liverpool at the moment. For example, I just don't think that someone like Mohamed Salah, we should just avoid him because Liverpool are gonna win the league and they don't really have anything left to play. I just think that Mohamed Salah is gonna play um, till the end of the season and he's gonna be a great option. Now, again, with the relegation team, nobody is really buying players from those teams. So you get my point. Now, this was my gaming research for Gaming 34. Thank you so much for watching for so long. It really means a lot. If you enjoyed this video and if you want to see more on this channel, please consider leaving a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye.